In the current changing geoeconomic circumstances, it is challenging to navigate the complexities of financial markets.
One difference versus the steam engine 100 years ago was that that took quite a few decades to roll out, whereas it feels like emerging technologies these days very quickly get to all the different corners of the world.
Somebody who has been doing so successfully is Bernard Mensah, President of International Food Bank of America, the second largest bank by market capitalization in the world and one of America's Big Four. Mr. Mensah, thank you for being with us today. After posting another set of robust results, how do you explain the positive momentum in the American banking industry?
Thank you for having me. The banking industry has been in increasingly good shape. We've all been investing. The fundamentals are great. The underlying economic environment which we operate has been helpful. And so I think it just reflects the investments over the years that we and other banks have been making in the industry, in our systems, and in our clients, and in the services that we provide our clients. But fundamentally, the underlying US economy and the global economy has been in relatively good shape, and we've been able to benefit from that.
You seem to be positive about the near future as well.
Yes, we've, over the last few years when people have expected recessions, we've felt that actually when we look at our 60, 70 million retail customers and when we look at our corporate customers, we felt that they've been in reasonably decent shape. And whilst there have been headwinds, absolutely, we felt that they should be able to cope with it. And that's what we've seen materialize over the last period of time, and now people are suggesting that there may not be a hard landing, and it looks like there might be a soft landing.
How is the Bank of America's unique positioning between its Main Street, as you said, more than 65 million customers, and its Wall Street investment banking business, making it a good bet for investors in 2025?
No, absolutely. We think we're really well placed to service our customers because we have this unique combination of having, in the hinterland, a US economy that's the largest and incredibly dynamic. And we have an incredible consumer base, a strong wealth management business, and a very global corporate investment banking and sales and trading business. So we have really the best of all worlds in terms of having a US business, but also being very global. We're in 35 or 36 countries, we're in a number of regions, and we think there are very, very few institutions, I can count one or maybe two, that can operate at a global scale that we can, all the way from Tokyo to Brazil, to Sao Paulo, and have that unique combination of having exposure to the US economy and the global economy.
Is your strategy to expand further in other destinations?
No, our strategy has been to invest more and more in the business that we're in, and the people that we serve, and the customers that we face. We're really comfortable with the product footprint that we have. We're really comfortable with our geographical locations globally, we're sort of where we want to be. You can always have a debate here or there about a particular country, or even in the US about a particular city, but we think we're really well positioned to do what is at our core, which is to make financial lives better.
In your personal opinion, do you feel that you have managed to bring this core American banking spirit to the rest of the world with your operations internationally?
Yeah, I think US banking has done well. If you go back 10, 15, 20 years, and if you sort of looked at the number of metrics, whether it's size or profitability or relevance of global financial institutions, I think that there's a few US financial institutions. Some have had a tough time of it going through the financial crisis, but overall, there's few US financial institutions that have generally done well. I think it's a good regulatory background that we've operated in, as I said, the underlying economy, but I think we've been able to bring a lot of technology and a lot of solutions to our customers. And it really has been a focus on what we call responsible growth, but every day getting up and thinking how, not what is in it for us or how good are we, but how do we make financial lives of our customers and our clients better. And if we do that, I think we benefit.
You've just mentioned technology. How do you feel technology and AI will further impact the financial industry?
It has done in the past, and it will do going forward. And we've spent a lot of time today thinking through or hearing about the impact of technology. It's always been the case. Sometimes my mind goes back to, gosh, when the steam engine started, or when electricity came in, or when telephones came in. And in my time in the industry, we've seen a lot of technological innovation and impact. So it'll impact the way we look at risk, it'll impact how we, and it already is impacting how we communicate with our clients, how efficiently we do that, how we manage our risk, how we access new countries, how we access new products. That will always be the case.
So you're very positive about the way AI and tech will change the banking industry, but how well positioned are you to protect yourself from the negative impacts?
Well, when we say positive, I generally, over the arc of our times, we've seen all of the positive benefits of technology. There's always been downsides to them. People's ability to use mobile phones means that there can be activity on phones that are not well regulated. We've had to think through how do we capture unauthorized activity where it would have been more difficult to do that in the past. So going forward, the new technology, whether it's with speed or scale or sophisticated complex machines, will present its challenges. But at every step of the way, we look to mitigate those challenges whilst getting the benefits. That's sort of ingrained. There's never a point in which we sort of say, well, let's just go for all of the upside without thinking of the other bit. So that will be a core part of whatever investments we're making.
You've mentioned earlier that there is this way of conducting your business, which is thinking about the consumers and about their well-being. Of course, there is a lot of green energy, climate change, sustainability, AI on the agenda. How do you feel that life will look differently for the society in 2030?
Oh gosh.
It's a very broad question.
Yes, look, I think that when we talk about climate, there's been a huge amount of investment in the last 6, 7, 8, 10 years. It's really been quite exponential, and it's interesting that at every point we think we need to do more, and we absolutely do. But sometimes I try and remind people how much has come online, and interestingly, that didn't stop through COVID. I remember when COVID happened, everybody said all of the green agenda would fall away, and it actually didn't. And so the scale of investment in solar and wind, and in the search for new technologies, and how sensitive we all are about our carbon footprint is huge. And so I think that will carry on. Now, there'll be challenges. Is that adjustment fair? Are different people in different parts of the world benefiting in the same way or not? But I think that will be the case. There will be technological advances that will impact us. I can't say exactly which, but 15 years ago, mobile phones were not as ubiquitous. Or if you look at some of the social communication platforms, my older kids didn't have access to them, and my younger kids do. So I think in 7 or 8 years, we'll just see the continued evolution of technology. And in the natural cut and thrust, some will fall away, and the best ones will come through. What's really important is regulation keeps up with that, and the institutions that keep all of these in check are also keeping up with the changes that are taking place.
Do you think that there is a need for a good cooperation between the public and private sector?
Absolutely. I mean, the guardrails need to be set, there need to be common understandings. Increasingly, these are global technologies and global platforms. Maybe one difference versus the steam engine 100 years ago was that took quite a few decades to roll out, whereas it feels like emerging technologies these days very quickly get to all the different corners of the world. So we really do need regulators and governments to move at the same pace. And it's a tough challenge for them. They ideally don't want to move in a way in which holds back the technology by not letting it grow fast enough, but at the same time they shouldn't want to hinder innovation.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.